Hello there, and welcome to the Ego James podcast. We are back at it once again with episode 25. Are you feeling good? Are you feeling a little under the weather? Are you feeling like you regretted all your party decisions, all your bring in the new year? No, I don't. Even though I'm just punching tables right now, I feel I have little to no regret at this moment. Even though I do sound a little nasally, might have caught something, might have not caught something, Either way, something's floating around in the air. Every season of my life. It seems like my body is on some sort of schedule. Like in some time in January, am I just meant to feel this certain way? Am I just prone to repeat the same cycle in life, Is it a synchronicity? I don't know. I don't think it is. If it is, come at me, talk to me, tell me all your indigo children thoughts, tell me which stones aligned with what moon and what stars, because if it's a thing, I'm not going to knock it. I don't like to do that. So, but also at the same time, it could just be a coincidence. I feel that. And on top of that, I feel like I'm whispering, I'm being self-conscious right now because of the same reason of the nose and the nasalness. But it's a perfect segue into the more medical side of what I have gone through in my life and what I've gone through in my life recently. Like I said, doing practices as prolotherapy, and I've mentioned before, sounds quacky, sounds a little outside of the box, even though you tell somebody, oh, I'm going to do prolotherapy. It's like, oh, what is that? Oh, that sounds interesting. But the mention of PRP, then you start everybody. It wants to really knock you on your ass. Like, PRP, you mean platelet-rich plasma? I'm like, asshole. Yeah, I do. But at the same time, don't knock it till you try it. And I don't mean to do stem cells in the Christopher Reeves way of taking embryonic cells, because I'd kind of go against my ideals and my beliefs, being a little bit of pro-life in that aspect, but also having aspects of pro-choice. But that just all goes down to your conscience at the end of the day. So I'm not here to speak on that, but yeah, that's just my stance and my opinion on it. So if you want to email me later about that and tell me, I will respond. You know why I'm talking like that? Because I can barely hear myself. I think I got a fullness in the ear and a little bit of fullness in the nose. So I'm just going to see if I can turn that up. There we go. Can I hear myself a little louder? I'm Kevin Conroy as Batman, the greatest Batman. Believe it or not, But back to... We'll elaborate more on that, him being the greatest Batman. Even though I don't have to, and I don't need to, I think overall, he's just the GOAT. Or it might just be because I don't have the settings on. That's what it is. Feels weird to not have the settings on. The presets and the plugins. Damn. Okay, anyways. Damn. I'm over here hearing shit. Either I can't hear my voice or I can't hear myself. I hear the voice a little too much. So, rewind it back, circle back, Jan Pizzacki style. Back when I was in Florida, going down there and having the shots done and having my doctor, Dr. Hauser, do his usual shtick and, make jokes while he's jabbing you in the neck with 200 shots, doing the, prolotherapy, Joe, your dad over here he kept talking my ear off. But you know what? The guy did wonders. The guy worked wonders. The guy knows his stuff. He studied well. And the fact to where they tell you the inflammation is good, and that's like embracing it. And something I learned over there for it being, the ice trick, where you ice something, like when you're having inflammation and it cuts off blood circulation and it reduces it. And essentially you're just numbing it, not healing it. I'm like, man, why did that not click earlier on in my life? I don't know. Maybe I didn't pay attention. When I should have been paying attention in the first place, man, I was playing sports back then, And I still do occasionally, you do adult rec leagues and then everybody wants to be a hard ass, and I'm included in that. I'm included in it. Your testosterone goes up through the roof and you're like, I'm going to beat this motherfucker's ass. You want to fucking, don't do that in front of the children. Hey, stop it. I'm going to kick his fucking ass. Fucking, every guy has something to prove out there, no matter what. Just like me, man. I'm just like, it's like having PTSD flashbacks from having a coach yell at you. He's like, what the fuck? Don't gotta get your ass back on the damn game. Acting like a butt in the classroom, Or, because, you play Little League, like Little League people don't realize, when somebody really tears into your ass and really tells you, it's like, do you want to, like, when you watch motivational videos, especially, that's a whole nother mindset you have to get into. It's like,
you are the beast. You are the animal. You have to take down the opposition.
It's like you take it all in there. It's like you're living a movie out there on that field. You may look like a bunch of little kids, disorganized and falling and tripping all over each other, but like to a kid in your head, it feels like Any Given Sunday. If you've never seen Any Given Sunday, they even had player compilation videos of us to like. I remember having a VHS, and they were pretty much telling. They had Guns N' Roses, welcome to the jungle, we got fun and games. And you're just seeing kids just get their shit rocked. And boom, boom. Is that what you want? We got what you want. You're in the jungle, baby. You're gonna die. Like, man, this is so intense. And it's in VHS quality, so it makes it even more gritty. It's like no matter how young these kids were, you just see them boom, boom. And then later on in life, you're like, oh shit, all that impact on my spine fucked me up. And I didn't realize I had a joint disorder that makes everything pop and click and subluxate and just... What's wrong with you? I'm just a party trick. Don't worry about it. I can do the splits and you hear the ribs. That's what it feels like. The party trick guy now feels like an 80-year-old because all his bones and joints are all fucking like Mr. Glass, If something subluxates, it's like, oh, it doesn't hurt until like a couple days later, you were like, oh, fuck, it's a rainy day, So, maybe, I'm heard it's very common, and it's a, EDS is Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome, or you can say it in the sense of, I've heard it said so many different ways because the names it's based off of, but, it's Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome. Ehlers, what? I don't care. I just know that I got Mr. Glass type joints. I don't break. I more or less dislocate. I've never broken a bone in my body. That I know of. I punched God. Speaking of which, I got pissed off one day. Like, this is like 2015, 2016, and I punched the staircase. And like just this pinky right here, just boom, just clicks in and out of place now. And I remember it hurt like the dickens for years. But now it's just there. It just looks larger than the other pinky. You can't really, I don't know if you can really tell. Show it in the lighting. It's going to defocus. It may be $1,000 camera, but it doesn't mean it can do $1,000 shit sometimes. Well, it depends on the lens. Fuck you. Did you fix your white balance? No. I'm not an expert. Was I saying that here on the podcast? No, I think I was just ranting on my phone and doing some behind the scenes shit. Goodness gracious. I'm all out of breath when it comes to talking about my fucking glory days. You know what? High school glory days don't exist for me. They really don't. If I was to choose a time in my life that were glory days, I'd have to say my time in community college. Nope, fuck that. You know what I mean? Glory days are just days, Don't romanticize your past. They were fun, they were nostalgic, but just, you got to get over it. And that comes with time, and you'll realize, make new memories, Don't get lost in that shit. I know it's easy to. I'm not no fucking perfect image of that. I mean, yeah. Actually, if you know me fairly well and you actually listen to the music, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, is this all this guy talks about sometimes? Sorry, man. It's just like that's just shit. The shit comes to my mind to write. That's how it is. Yeah, you're just not talented. You're washed up. You're trash. No, I don't believe those things. Self-doubt is one of those things that only you yourself hear. And it's in the word, it's in the phrase, self-doubt. So, you're the biggest controller of that, whoever you are watching this, How to save a life. Do, 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 do. That's what comes into my head when I'm talking about motivational shit. So, let it be, let it be. Back to my, I guess, medical shit, and now we're gonna be talking about like the flurona, which my craziest ideas or craziest conspiracies. I don't even call them conspiracies because it's not a conspiracy. It's possible. It's very possible, and I was kind of like ripping this around in my head. I'm like, what if later on, in one of these seasonal allergies, flu, or cold seasons, these viruses mix together, and that's how they really mutate. I want to know what's the one that's gonna fuck you hard,
Flurona feels like the flu, but you actually have corona.
Oh, okay. Which at the same time, I'm like, it's a possibility. It's very possible, man. But it's one of those things where like, do I have chlamydia or gonorrhea? Well, you could have both. Like, oh. Can you? I'd have to look that shit up. But I have a computer next to me, but me typing at this keyboard and be like, can I look up chlamydia? You know what? We got plenty of time. I'm gonna ask Google, and it's gonna be in my search history, and Google's gonna be like, you're one not sexually active person, because we know how much porn you watch, and it's like, oh. Does he get pussy? Does he take it in the ass? Does he make love in the night? Or does he just fucking sit here and beat his meat off, Can you get... Let me not type this so that the microphone doesn't go... Can you get... I'm typing, I got you. Don't worry about it. If you hear the clicking, can you get... Oh, look. This is funny. Oh my God. I like the presets of when you search up something. So these are the top searches. You want to guess what they are? I bet you can guess. You don't even have to look at the screen. Can you get COVID twice? Can you get Omicron twice? So is COVID not Omicron? Is this what we're meant to believe? We think it's another... Can you get pregnant on your period? I can see. This is the majority, people. This is how we know. This is how we know what we're fucking going into. But I'm trying to look up, can you catch chlamydia and gonorrhea? If I can spell chlamydia. Calamity. I like how they're not going to give it to me. I remember how to spell it. Chlamydia. There we go. Chlamydia and gonorrhea. Here's the top searches for these. These are actually pretty hilarious. Can you get chlamydia and gonorrhea with a condom? Can you get chlamydia and gonorrhea from kissing? Can you get chlamydia and gonorrhea from a toilet seat? I'm actually curious to hear that one. Oh, there it is. Number... You see, I'm not the only one thinking this. This is number 5 in search results. Can you get chlamydia and gonorrhea at the same time? All right. 2 infections that you can get from sex from... learn how to read. 2... I'm about to point this shit out. It's so far, I need glasses. 2 infections that you can get from having sex with another person are called chlamydia and gonorrhea. They are caused by bacteria that are passed from sexual partner to you. It is common to have chlamydia and gonorrhea at the same time. Oh God. This is a thing. This is a thing. some things you don't want to know, and some things I'm going to tell you, and that's you're not going to want to know. Like, I take pictures of my shit, and I get it, but it's like, you got to care about my fiber. I told that to somebody, and they said, go fuck yourself. I'm like, all right. I know who not to be around in an apocalyptic situation. You know, that tells you a lot. So, people ask, can you have 2 STDs at the same time? Unfortunately, it is possible to have 2 or more STDs at the same time. This will usually happen if you had multiple sex partners since your last STD test, or if you sleep with somebody who already has 2 STDs. Oh, God. Whoa, my goodness. Let me clear that up, you know. Need some penicillin to knock that shit out. Excuse me, miss. Oh, and also, this will be a full episode uploaded to YouTube since, shout out to the kid, Cosm, you know, at the same time, you know, might have had some beef in the past, might have not had some beef. Like, it's all fucking written in the scrolls, man. If Kang the Conqueror from the Loki show, or the one who remains, can predict this shit, you know what I mean? It's all predestined. But either way, he did tell me that there was a way to synchronize the audio to the video instead of having to do it manually. I know it sounds lazy on my part, but when the fucking video kept doing it and messing up and it wasn't synchronizing properly, I'm like, I'm not going to give you guys a half-baked product, you know, that's going to be like, oh shit, the audio unsyncs every time. And I'm going to be like, fuck it, just give it to him. So I was giving 6-minute clips, and that's the only part that would sync. And I was like, all right, perfectly fine. You know what I mean? And then you go to the other platforms to where it sounds nice, beautiful. It gets a little nice little touch-up, little master around the ring, and we do a good time. So, feel me, you know? Feel me on that one. So, shout out to Cosm. All right, so, why do you shout him out, huh? You guys aren't friends anymore. Yeah, you know who you are. You tell me that. That's all right. It's all good. Oh, also, I do want to point out one thing. Since there's an Instagram account that is dedicated to the Ego James podcast, and I'm sure you've seen it. If you follow this, I follow the Ego James podcast account. And funny enough, I don't run that page. So it has the 4 followers. Oh, come on, focus, you cock. Focus. All right, you see it. Anyways, you get the point. I don't run that page. But whoever does, I do appreciate it. If I get another Robert Cuckman situation, if you know, you know about that. So it's just basically someone playing a fucking prank on me or playing a joke on me. Or hell, you know, if you're trying to help indirectly, I get it. You know, it's funny how I think slightly they mimic the way I talk in the speech, at least. So let me tell you right now. Let me give it to you for an example. So when they're promoting the page, this is so weird. It's like talking about myself in the third person, but it's not. You know, it's like having a fucking fan page, even though, yeah. So they do. Where is it at? You know, something I've said in other bios too, where it says, and they comment this back because I even called them out. Legit, I want to know who is running this page. And then they fucking respond to me like a complete dickhead. And it's funny. It says, check me out on all recognized and unrecognized streaming apps. Ego James Podcast. Hashtag hilarious. Hashtag topical. Hashtag political. Controversial. What is topical? What is this guy going with this here? Topical. I don't think this person knows what topical means, man. That's are you talking about lotions and sunscreens? Either way, it's just funny to come across something like this. And then they use my Facebook profile picture of, you know, Ted from Jingle All the Way. Oh, I'm trying to avoid that burp inside the microphone. I just find it so repulsive and gross. Damn. You know, you think having one of those nice arm stands would avoid all that rumble, but sorry if we can't, sorry if we do. I apologize in advance. But go deeper into the web, the metaverse. Oh, and I also wanted to talk today about a place, speaking of which, HBO Max. As much as I was never the biggest fan of HBO products like Game of Thrones or Ballers or I think Euphoria, which I haven't really tried an attempt to watch those shows, but I mean, it just never really intrigued me. You know, I might even sound like a dork to where it's like, I've watched Cobra Kai before I've seen Euphoria. And it's like, what are you, fucking 12? No. But, you know, I was watching Cobra Kai. This is one of the reasons I got YouTube Premium. Call me a dork if you want, but fucking Cobra Kai was my reason for getting YouTube Premium. Like, and then when it switched over to Netflix, you have no idea. I was a little betrayed in that sense. But I'm like, you know what? If they can improve on some aspects of the show through Netflix, more power to them. But yeah, YouTube Premium is like probably the only reason I like to keep it. It's like, oh, I don't get ads. And then I get free movies, which is the free with ads movies, but now I get them free without the ads. And I get a music listening platform. So shamelessly plug myself, Ego James, into that whole thing right there. You can listen to my music on there, whether you like compositional work for little short skits I used to do back in the day, or just hip-hop music in general. Or you can follow the NTP ambivalent, or is it ambivalent NTP, and you can listen to instrumentals I make just for fun. So shameless plug here and there. But you know what? That makes up for me not having sponsors, you know? I could be worse, you know? I could start the show off to where I was like, this episode is sponsored by Eat Fresh, and this is sponsored by Bags on the Go. This, you know, I'm not going to do that to you until that happens. Making promises because, you know, some people got to eat too, you know? And then I can give you deals and promo codes later on, you know? This is a laid-back podcast. This is a laid-back little show for you to listen and snooze to. You know, hopefully this reaches your YouTube playlist. Hopefully this reaches the playlist of, like, why is Hot Ones on HBO Max? You know, I was hating on HBO Max, and it really blew my mind to where I was like, let me give it a second chance. So I watched the Wayans Brothers show, and I also watched Justice League. And let me tell you, Justice League holds up pretty damn well. To the point where it makes me mad that they can't make a good Justice League movie or any good DC movies besides a fucking Batman movie, you know? You got so much shit to work with there, you know? But we need it dark and gritty. Nobody's saying not to make it dark and gritty. Nobody's fucking saying that. Everybody's just like, you know, do your Nolan thing. But don't go too Nolan. You know what you do when you go a little too Nolan for my liking? Let me tell you. The movie Tenet, that went a little too Nolan for me. For the reason of, like, everybody whispers for, like, every line of dialogue. And then you go into it with this random, like, like where he does that Hans Zimmer, like, the two notes of, and then it fucking explosions here and there that, like, sound better in a theater, but then you play it on your TV and you're like, oh, fuck. Tiny little speaker. Oh. You know? When are you going to find out you live in the future and the past? Yeah, I know if I'm going to live in the future. Tenet. Denzel Washington's son, who looks absolutely nothing like him until he's looking up from a different angle. I don't know. You know what I also thought, and this comes to mind, I've wanted to see another good James Bond movie. And, you know, and my expectations for James Bond movies in general are not very high. But I also thought Robert Pattinson would be a good James Bond. When I saw him in that movie, I'm like, that should be James Bond. Should he be Batman? I don't know. I don't care. I'm kind of tired of Batman movies at this point, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. You know. But, yeah. Justice League. Are you going to make a good live-action movie? Who knows? You got plenty of more chances. I mean, comic book movies in themselves are not going anywhere. No, they are not going I tell you that. That's my I guess prediction on that. If it does happen to spiral down and they just start not giving a shit about the writing and not having a care in the world, which I highly doubt, especially in the Marvel, because you got Kevin Feige on that shit on lock, and then you got Jon Favreau, and those are both equally talented individuals in the sense of like they kind of got the head on their shoulders to kind of keep stuff in line. I'm just glad they have that in work. I feel like other studios, if they follow that memo, it would just work out a little bit better. I just want, I would like every movie to work out better. I'm a fan of both of the lores. Like I'm a huge, I can be very open-minded when it comes to any particular type of genre. I may not be the biggest horror movie fan. Like, I don't like possession movies. Those personally, I'm just like kind of just gross out and twisted. And they can set a mood, but I'm just not the biggest fan of them. And then on the opposite end, like slashers, like a good slasher, it can go a long way too. And those can be complete dog shit also. But if you add a good mystery to it, or if you add some element of intrigue, then you got a good movie. But if it's just gonna be based on the kill count and then some other bullshit, and no, I just want some level of intrigue, and I think that's kind of where Halloween has fallen to the wayside. Also, I caught a glimpse of that new Freddy Krueger. Or it's not even so much new. This shit came out like in 2010. So like 12 years ago, I watched that one, and it had no charm. And that's the weird part, is that Freddy Krueger has to have charm. And it's the weirdest part, to where it's like you're rooting for this guy who's like, he's a kid toucher, a little pedophile. He's got that pedophile backstory. And it's like, so do you like this type of guy? Like with Darth Vader. Like, when Darth Vader went and killed all those younglings, like, to me, it's like, all right, Revenge of the Sith kind of ruined Darth Vader. Just like Freddy's Dead ruined Freddy Krueger, when they, like, exposed that backstory of, like, oh, he was touching kids. It's like, oh. Huh. If you really wanted to make your guy likable, or at least give him, like, that we were mistaken and the town was actually the villains, and it's like the people with the pitchforks, are actually the people behind it all, then yeah, it makes sense. But you're trying to have me root for this guy with a fucking striped sweater and a fedora, as much as I like fedoras, and yeah, it's just where a lot of that shit falls to the wayside. I currently can't stand with a lot of that. And at the end of the day, I think it comes down to the writing and the charisma of the character / actor, whatever the person brings to the table, or that, because I think a lot of that a lot of hard work goes into making movies. Like, I can't be the hugest critic of movies. Like, I appreciate it in the art form of what it is, I'm not gonna be, well, that movie was absolute horrish rubbish, I'm entitled to my opinion, but it's at the same time, like, I know making movies, making scripts, writing anything, and then chemistry between actors, the production people, the camera, the lighting, just, it's just a whole unit that I feel gets really railroaded, At the end of the day, it's just a job. Yeah. How did I go from chlamydia and gonorrhea to, at the end of the day, it's just a job? Because I'm looking over here at my notes, and I'm also looking over at the Google search of 2 STDs at the same time, and my talking about the learning curve and my medical shit and HBO Max, I just feel that Google's got a close eye on me. Well, at least it's on my Ego James podcast email, so I don't feel as guilty. At least I want the algorithm, the old lord of the algorithm, to know that I'm sitting here and I'm letting them know that I will not transgress against you. You know, let me let me clear my throat for God's sakes. It's actually my nose. It's like, it feels like it's the pocket right here. Everybody knows about that pocket of like mucus, you know. But let's move on. Let's go forward. Flurona. Let me see if I'm gonna Google flurona real quick. Google that. Boom, 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 boom. Flurona is linked to the flu. COVID and flu at the same time. People.com. Let's go to a reputable source. Now, co-infections. Yeah. I like how this has such like a serious like overtone to it. Like all the sexual shit really doesn't. But this one, like, you know, this is disgusting. Has all the like fear-driven pictures. What does gonorrhea and chlamydia have? You know? Let's just embrace it. You know? Let's fuck. All right, you got chlamydia and gonorrhea? Yeah, you want a double header? Boom! Tough Atkinson. Watch that be the cure for that shit, too. Well, you know, technically, since Tough Atkinson has a formula of alcohol and some antibiotics in it, it's easy to get the antifungal, so that's what they put inside of gonorrhea pills, and it's like, oh, it's all right. Doctor, could you tell me more about flurona? Yeah, I just like the name for this. I really do. I dig this name. Acetaminophen. You know, for the longest time, I don't know what the fuck acetaminophen was, but apparently it's just it's a fancy word for Tylenol. Oh, read your boxes, you know? Even though I hate taking pills. If you know me, I hate taking any sort of pill. That shit just doesn't sit right up here, you know? If I have to take it in pill form, how did you synthesize this shit? How did you put it all and compact it into this pill? But I sure as hell took those Molly pills with no problem. No, but I wouldn't do that today, you know? I would not allow myself to come into the temptation of doing that. I just happen to, you know, wanted to party hard. Let's get party on. You know, I feel so much as to go as like, maybe I did it to impress a girl. No. I think succumbing to peer pressure is a real thing, though. It's not anybody's proudest moment. But it was fun. It's fun. You get to play with putty and do weird shit. Or as other people used to do. But, you know, I'm not going to get too torn on that. I just feel like that's something I always go back to because it's something I really highly regret in my life is doing any sort of drugs, you know. People will say, though, that's part of the college experience. Funny enough, I wasn't in college at the time, so don't know what the fuck you're talking about. In college, I wasn't doing any of that stuff. You know what I was doing in college? I was getting drunk. What normal people do is just get drunk and damage their liver and then get stomach ulcers so they can't eat spicy food later on in life. That sounds awful, too. Damn. You know, as much as I am a hypochondriac, and as much as I get made fun of for it, I embrace that shit. 9 times out of 10, I'll embrace it. You know. And for those who don't know the definition, and I would just want to clarify the definition, a person who is abnormally anxious about their health. And you think that'd be a little bit of an oxymoron there, because I'm a big, heavy fella in some aspects. So if I really cared about my health, I'd probably be eating a little bit healthier. So, sign you may be an hypochondriac. Center for Anxiety Disorders. We're Googling shit and having fun. Oh, God. Why do they show this broken bone of a collarbone? All right. I want to read these off, actually. Hypochondriac symptoms may include regularly checking themselves for any sign of illness, fearing anything from a runny nose to a gurgle in the gut is a sign of a serious illness, making frequent doctor visits. This is where I defer from the hypochondriac cliche. I don't trust doctors, so I don't go to frequent doctor visits. I'll just, go on WebMD. Actually, I don't go on WebMD anymore. Fuck that. It's too vague. It's like, oh, you got a runny nose. Well, you might have a brain hemorrhage. I was like, oh, shit. Let me go. Oh, shit. Never mind. Right underneath that is, conversely, avoiding the doctor due to the fear that the doctor will find something that they have a dreaded disease or a serious illness. Okay, so right after that, that's one of my symptoms. Okay, fucking jeez. Talking excessively about their health. All right, here we are. This whole episode is based on that. So let's keep moving forward. Spending a lot of time online researching their own symptoms. Hey. Fuck you. May focus on just one thing, a certain disease, example, cancer, or a certain body part. Example, the lungs if they cough, or if they have a fear of disease, they might be focused on a trending disease. During the flu season, they may be convinced that a sniffle means that they're coming down with the flu. The second one, or not the second one, but I'm already on the sixth one over here, are unconvinced that their negative medical tests are correct. Then they worry that they have something undiagnosed and that they won't be able to find it out and cure them. And then avoiding people or places that they fear might cause them to get sick. Now, I'm starting to think I'm a little bit on the spectrum of hypochondriac. Just because, I have some of them. Like I'll cherry pick them a little bit that I have these symptoms, but yeah. The doctor one's pretty accurate about avoiding the doctor to where it's like, oh, you might have this. But at the same time, if it's truly serious, then I want to go to the doctor. Like for the longest time, I'm not going to lie, I've wanted a CT scan. That's a little bit, we'll get to that later. Later on in life, I don't know, just to see what's going on up there. What's going on in the gray matter? Something, I just feel like it's something you should, just like 50-year-old men check their prostate. I feel like people should get this checked out. Possibly there's worms eating your shit. Not to put you into fear, my fellow hypochondriacs, but just letting you know. Things can be like that. You can be a person who's like, I love sushi. There's worms in my gut. Yeah, I think that shit when I eat sushi. So I'm really picky about my sushi. Actually, matter of fact, I'm that fucking guy who likes the shrimp tempura type stuff. Like the stuff that you cooked heavily. But I'll eat the nori and what's the other ones? Can't really place my finger on it. I'm gonna look it up. I don't want to feel like an uncooked sushi. Sushi rolls. Well, pregnant. What's it called? Nigiri? Yeah, nigiri. That's the sashimi. Basically, this is the cold stuff. But it has to be ice cold. I want that thing not to the point to where it's frozen, but it just came, and it's in that perfect, refreshing, almost like it's a cold cucumber type of texture. But yeah, sushi, sashimi. Oh, yeah. Sashimi is if you really want the authentic sushi. But if you're a person who's like, oh, I want shrimp tempura, then everybody's going to laugh at you and be like, oh, you want a spider roll? You want the one with the fucking fried tentacles? You like an adult who likes raw fish. What sushi rolls can a woman eat while she's pregnant? All right. I like how this person made it personal. What sushi rolls can I eat while pregnant? Cooked rolls, if heated at a temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit, are okay to eat during pregnancy if made with low mercury fish. Some commonly cooked rolls you may see include California roll, an ebi roll, unagi roll, spicy chicken roll. And I've had a spicy chicken roll. And to me, that's the biggest waste of fucking money. They're going to charge you $6 for 2 pieces of chicken inside of like a rolled seafood and rolled seaweed and rice. And it's like, why did we go out to sushi? Why did we even do this? You know? Oh man, nothing irritates me more than that. It's like when you go to a sandwich shop and you go to a sandwich shop with a little kid and they like, can I get ham and a piece of American cheese and white bread? It's like, you want any lettuce or tomato or anything of veggie, like nutritional value on there? No. What kind of chips do you want? What? Cheetos. Oh, have your parents order for you next time. Fuck. I don't know. I feel like a kid's palate needs to develop, you know. But, you know, I got, you know, I got young kids in my life and they want to eat pizza, ice cream, pizza. Like, you lucky fuck. You know, you're lucky now you can eat them. But I wouldn't tell you to, like, feed your kids like that, but sometimes that's all your kid wants to eat. And then you can't make them eat shit. And then they're crying the whole time. You know? And then they're crying later. I can't poop. Well, whose dumbass fault was that? Eating fucking pizza and ice cream all the time. I can't poo-poo. It's all right. Eat them vegetables later. You know what? I would say implement some smoothies into your kid's life. You want to give them some vegetables, you know? Or make it seem fun. Like, to me, I liked broccoli, you know? Just make it seem like they're doing some sort of activity, you know? Like, say, for instance, your kid likes, Brave, you know? Pretend they're a big Irish giant and just like, I eat big trees for dinner. Yeah. And, you know, that's me giving advice to you for your little kids. Even though I don't got kids of my own, I have nieces and nephews and little cousins. So you got to get into the mind of a child to help them be healthy in life, to care about them, you know? Don't do it for fucking weird reasons. Talking to you sickos out there. But we're going to end it off right there. I had a good time telling you guys all about my life experience, being a hypochondriac, telling you a little bit about my medical side. Even though I don't get too into the depth of it, I will hopefully, I've been trying to do this for a minute, but, you know, I've been putting it off to the wayside of talking more about EDS because I want to talk about that more seriously and, you know, go in extreme depth to it. You know, maybe, just maybe, I might even be able to get my boy on this podcast in a virtual way. Maybe he'll want to do it through Zoom. Maybe he'll want to do it through... We'd have to see. I'm going to have to see because I'd have to screen record it because I want to see him on here and we just talk about it and back and forth. That'd be a great idea for the podcast. I am actually really excited. This gives me hope for the future. And after 25, I didn't make it to be alive. You know, I actually, for the longest time, I didn't think I was going to make it past 25. For, like, weird medical reasons, not for, like, hood movie shit. Like, I can't make it out the street past 25, man. It's gonna kill me. No, I just thought, like, you know, it's like, shit. 25, all the medical shit happened. And then and that was around the time I was, like, you know, doing edibles and shit. So it's like, you know, all that anxiety comes up and doing all that THC and get fucking high, bro. Yeah, ending it off right here. I will see you, wonderful people. You'll see me on the opposite end. If I was to crawl through that little verse you call the meta, you know what to do. Email me at the EgoJamesPodcast, gmail.com, bada bing, bada boom. Stories, suggestions, or if you just want to tell me, you know, my feet look good, you know, compliment me. You know, I really appreciate that type of stuff. Or just tell me, you know, insult me. I don't know. I just do something fun with it, you know. And don't DM me weird shit. You know, just keep it to the emails. If you're gonna message me, email me. Or whatever. But you can even DM that Ego James podcast Instagram. That's not even mine. You know, that'd be funny because they probably report back to me, or not even. They'll just do an underline. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do with that. But we'll see. I will see all of you guys later. I'm out. I'm going to cut the feed, cut the camera, get out of this place, man. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm done. What is this? Am I still recording? God. Nice.